thing actually, in order to work on the Power BI desktop, first the step what we learned from the today's classes. As a first step, we try to learn how to download the Power BI desktop into your system. Okay, there are the two ways how where you can download your Power BI desktop. The first one we can download from Microsoft Store. Suppose this is a search, you can type it as Microsoft Store. Yeah, Microsoft Store. Once you click on this Microsoft Store, the Microsoft Store will be open. In this here in the search button, you can type it as Power BI. Power BI. Yeah, just I click on Power BI desktop. See the Power BI desktop app will be open. Just you need to click on Power BI that app. Once you click on this Power BI desktop, so this Power BI desktop app will be open by the Microsoft Corporation. Here, what happened? I have already installed Power BI desktop into my system, so it is showing it as open. Okay. But in case in your system, if the Power BI desktop is not installed in your system, instead of open, it will show you as a download. So when you click on the download over here, then the Power BI desktop system will be installed into your local system. So this is the first procedure. This is the standard procedure for downloading the Power BI desktop through Microsoft Store. Okay. And you can ask me, there is another procedure where you can download the Microsoft through Google. Directly, you can directly download from the Google. So what is that? You can type it as Power BI desktop download. Okay. Once you click on this Power BI desktop download, it will ask you to download Power BI Microsoft desktop from official site. Just you need to click on it. Yeah. See, once we open download Power BI desktop, once you click on this download, it will open download Power BI desktop. You can click on Power BI desktop here. So I am downloading it through my system, like I'm not using the personal laptop, so it is not allowing for me. But I will share you the video like how to download the Power BI desktop from the Google. Okay, but the thing is, they will ask in the interview how you what is the difference between when you download the Power BI desktop from the Google or the web browser, and what is the difference that you notify like that you see when you download the Power BI desktop from the Microsoft system, Microsoft Store. This is a certification question in the Power BI. When you download the Power BI desktop through Microsoft system, Microsoft Store system, it is recommended to download your Power BI desktop from Microsoft Store. Reason being, every month the Microsoft like Power BI will adding some advanced feature to it. Every month some advanced features are added into the Power BI. So that's why if you want, suppose in this Power BI desktop, if some in the last month some advanced features are added to the Power BI desktop, if you download through Microsoft Store, that features will be automatically reflected in your Power BI desktop if you download through Microsoft Store. But if you download the Power BI desktop through the web browser, what happens? Suppose if you downloaded today in the November month by using the Google, like through the Google, like by using the web browser, if you go and download into your Power BI desktop, so what are the updates that are made in the Power BI desktop till November, it will be visible. But in the coming month, suppose Microsoft is adding some features or some new options in the Power BI desktop in the December that will not be visible when you download through the Google Store or when you download through your Google web browser. That's why it is recommended to download the Microsoft Power BI desktop through Microsoft Store. So this will be the interview questions and this will be the certification question. So then how you can know your Power BI desktop is downloaded? It here, like you click on Power BI, just it will show the Power BI desktop. So once you click on this Power BI desktop, what happens? This is the interface that will be opened. This is the interface that will be open. Once you download, just click on the search button as Power BI desktop. So this is the interface that will be open to you. Now it means that Power BI desktop is downloaded into the system. Now you need to open it. So Power BI, to open it, you need to click on this blank report. Okay, because you are opening the Power BI desktop without any data. So open like a free Power BI desktop version will be opened in your system. So I'm clicking on blank report. Okay, and everyone, you are able to see your screen, right? Whether my voice is reciprocating with my screen or it is a
Yes.
bit low. Yes, okay.
No, no,
Please let
it's
me know
good.
if,
It's
yeah, right.
visible.
Right. Now what happens? Power BI desktop, it is open. Like I have downloaded for the time being. I don't have permission for the Google, so I will explain you in the next class how to download the Google. That is not any tough task. It is a very straightforward, like how you install a app in your mobile. In the same way, you will able to do the Power BI desktop. But now the first step is we have download the Power BI desktop into your system. So this is the interface. This is the general interface. Now, as we are learning from the basic, you need to understand this Power BI desktop and you need to understand what is this interface actually. Okay. So when you look at this Power BI desktop here, the first this we have the import data from Excel. So what is meant by import? Import means extracting the data. That means connecting the data from external source or nothing but getting the data from external source. We call it as import in the technical terminology. So when you directly click on import from Excel, if your data is stored in the Excel or you have saved the data in your desktop, if you want to bring the data into your Power BI desktop, the Excel data, you can click on here, import data from Excel. So I have many files in my desktop. Just I will try to connect like import data from Excel. I want to connect my data which is saved in my desktop. Okay, just you click on import data from Excel. So I'm going to here desktop. Okay, in the desktop there are many files are stored over here. Like I'm selecting employee and department over here. Now just click on open. Now what happens? The employee department table which is there in my Excel, which is stored in my desktop, I'm able to connect to it. Now it will show you in that employee department sheet, I have three files, three in that Excel sheet. I have three sheets. Okay. What is the three sheets? In one sheet, I have department information. In another sheet, I have employee information. In the other sheet, I have the manager information. Now, just you want to see a preview, like what is that sheet? Like let us go and let us see in the Power BI desktop the raw file, but how it will be visible in the Power BI desktop is important. So when you click on this department, you can see this department has department ID, department name, location. So this is the data. That means in this employee department Excel, it contains department sheet. In the department sheet, it has three columns, the department ID, department name, and location. This is how the data will be visible in the Power BI desktop when you connect through the Excel sheet. Suppose if you want to see the data in the employee sheet, just click on that employee. So you have this much many columns like employee name, job, manager. So this is the data that you are visible. It will be visible. Now, if you want to see the data in the manager, it has only two columns, that is manager and manager name. Now we have selected these three files. Once this process this process is called extraction, getting the data from here. Now you have selected the data. What is my next step? I want to load this data into my Power BI desktop. So how you load the data? Just after selecting, you click on the load. Once you click on the load, the data which is there in the Excel in the desktop, the Excel data will be stored, will be loaded into your Power BI desktop. So just click on the load. Once you click on the load, so as the data is very not a huge data, it has only a data size is very small. It will not take that much time. So after ending, it will give the data is loaded into the system. Now the data which is loaded into your Power BI desktop will be reflected in this data section. This section we call it as data section. Once you want to open what is the data which is present inside these three, this data we call it as tables. Once we load the data into that sheets into here, we in the terminology we call it as this is department table, this is employee table, this is the manager table. This is how we'll pronounce. So if you want to see what are the columns in the department table, you need to open this. See, we have department ID, department name, location. These are the three columns which are there. We call it as a columns. In employee, if you want to see, this is an employee table. Okay. This employee table in the Excel we call sheet. Once you download the Power BI desktop, we call it as a table. Okay. Now, if you want to see what are the tables which are present in the employee, so what are the columns which are there in the employee, these are the columns which are there in the employee. And this is the manager. We have the manager name and manager. So whatever the data you connect, it will be reflected in the data section. Now, here you are in the data section, you can able to see only the table name and the column name. This is called employee table, column name and column name. But your requirement is actually you want to see the data exactly in the Power BI desktop. You want to see the data. What is the in the department in the column? Which data is there? So in that condition, we can go for this view. We call it as a report view. Like here we call where you can build the reports. Okay, this is the area. This is the body where you can build the reports. That's why we call it as a report view. So because why we are calling this as a report view, this is the area in the Power BI desktop where you build the visuals, where you make the visuals, where you develop your report. That's why we call it as a report view. Second, if you want to, in this data section, if you want to see the data, if you want to see the data which is there in your Power BI desktop, to see this data, you can go to here, this table view, right? Once you click on this table view, if you want to click on the department section, see, this is the data department name, location, this is there. Once you go to the employee table, click on any one column, any one column. This is the employee table. We are in the employee table. These are the columns. So if you want to analyze this, you want to see the data, you can see the data over here. So why this table will be helpful for you? It will reflect the data so that you can analyze the data, what type of the data you have loaded to it. So in the same way, if you want to see the manager data, you can go to the manager, click on the manager name. You can see this manager name. So this is called as table view. Okay. Now the third section we call it as the model view. What is meant by the model view? So what are the tables you have loaded? All the tables will be reflected over here. We have loaded the table only from one Excel. So the tables will be reflected over here. Now we can here in this model view, if you are able to create some relationship that suppose if I loaded only the Excel sheet, now in the coming example, I will try to connect to this different other types of the tables also. So where I can create, if you want, the thing is we have some data stored in the employee table. We have suppose another data is stored in some X table. So if you want to build the visuals from this employee table or other table, so these are two different table, right? So one is stored in Excel and other stored in different Excel. So if you build a visual by these two different table which is coming from different data sources, it becomes very hard that you are not able to create the visuals correctly. So you will try to build a relationship between this table and another table. Okay, and I will explain you now because right now this is comes under the data modeling, because once we complete in the Power Query starting after 15 or hours of the classes, then you will come to the Power Pivot. At that time, we'll start from the basic. And if I explain you at this point of time, you will bit confused because we go step by step. Okay, this is model view, this is table view, and this we call it as report view. Now, now we have said like if you want to go to again the report view, just click on here. Right now we are in the report view. Now there is a chance like instead of going to the import data from Excel, previously we have data from SQL. So at the first interface when you download, the type of options will open. But once you loaded the data, that interface will not be visible. Then there is only one option which is very easy, where you can connect to the data sources. See, where here in the home tab we have a get data. So directly we can connect the data source from here. Suppose in the get data you click over here. See, Power BI has got an important feature. It will connect to more than 30 or 50 different type of the data set that you can connect. Here we have connected to the Excel. So you need to click on the Excel. Okay. Suppose in the desktop, what we have stored employee department table. So employee department, this Excel will be connected over there. Okay. Now we not only Excel, you can connect to the data flows, Dataverse. Suppose in that sometimes in the present time project that I'm working in the company, my data source is stored in the Dataverse. If your data is a very huge, like if they want to store in the database, SQL Server database, then you can use SQL Server. Sometimes data is stored in text CSV. Sometimes the data is stored in web. If you want to connect to some online link like Wikipedia link, we have the tables that you need to download from the online. You can take some population census which is there in the Wikipedia. If you want to, just you need to click on this web browser and you need to click, just give the URL to it, click on OK. So what are the tables which are present? The only the tabular format will be reflected over here. So as the time passes, you will connect to the different data sources. Let us start working some transformation in the Excel. After completing, I will explain you how to connect to the SQL Server database. But understand, not only Excel, it is see, not only this text VSB or blank query, we have more option over here. Once you click on more, see, we can connect to the text, we can connect to the PDF, we can directly connect to some folders. So Oracle databases like Terra databases, Amazon, Vertical, these are all the data sets, Lake Houses, Azure, SharePoint, Excel also. We can connect to the Microsoft SharePoint. So they will ask you the first interview question. They will ask you what are the different types of the data sources you have connected in your project. This is a simple question. You might be freshers or everyone. Then you can say that I have connected to the Excel sheet. I have connected to the text CSV. I have connected to the SharePoint. I have connected to the SQL Server databases. I have connected to the Oracle databases. So this type of answer that you can, when you ask in the interview, the first question definitely they will ask you, what are the different types of the data sources you have used in the project? So I will explain you. We will, in the coming example, we learn how to connect the Excel database, SQL Server. In some transformation, we use how to connect a text CSV file. We'll see how to connect some PDF. So you can ask, you can Dataverse. We need to have some permission for that. We are not connecting to the Dataverse, but everything is connection is very easy. Just you need to give the server name. Just you need to give your credential. Then automatically it will be connected. But only thing you can you need to learn from the get data. You can able to connect to the different data sources. Okay. Now, first of all, you need to understand different types. First, while connecting the data sources, if you want to make any transformation, we see already this is called as a data section. And we can see this section, we call it as visualization pane, this visualization. What is meant by the visualization pane? Suppose right now I have collected only one Excel sheet, department or employment table. Now let us, I will try to connect another Excel file. Okay, in the Excel file, suppose in my downloads, I have one sample superstore data file. Yeah, sample superstore data. This is a file I want to connect, sample superstore. Now I need to click on open. So once you click on open, then the data source will be connected. So in the sample store, the data is stored in three different sheet: order sheet, people sheet, return sheet. So I will select order. The orders data will be visible. People, the people's only two returns. This data is connected. So I have click on the load. Now the data will be loaded into Power BI. This contains data, contains some data is used. So no problem. It is connected. See, order, people, and returns. These three are coming from the sample superstore data. These three tables. But manager, employee, department are coming from employment and department data. Okay, we have connected to two different Excels. First three Excel sheets, first three tables are coming from employee department table. Next three are coming from sample superstore data. Okay. Now here this I have seen this part, we call it as report view, where you can build the visuals, right? Just again, to build the visuals, we will start. This is the third step in the report view, Power View. We will discuss 15 hours of the classes, and we will discuss all these visuals like which are there. These are the standard visuals. Okay. Apart from this, we have many custom visuals will be there, that also will be discussed. But these visuals are the standard visuals, and each and every visuals by step we will be practicing when we start the Power View. First, we learn about how to transform your data. That is called as Power Query, that we have discussed in the demo. Second step, data modeling, how to analyze the data. That is called Power Pivot. That we will discuss in the second step. Third, Power View, how to create the visuals, reports from it. That we'll be discussing in the Power View. And fourth, after developing the report, how to publish the report and how to refresh your report, how to schedule your report, that you study in the Power BI service. So this will be a sequential flow of our Power BI course. So if you ask me, if you want to build some simple visual, like I want to create some donut chart or something, any pie chart. So just you click on this chart. So the chart will be open. Now, if I want to get the data like suppose category wise sales or something, or data years wise sales, if you want, suppose in the orders date, I'm clicking on in the order state, we have the date hierarchy. Okay. So I want to calculate this year. Okay. When I select the year, what are the years which are there? It will be reflected over here. Okay. Just a simple visual. And I want year wise sales. My requirement is this. We have the sales column. Just select over here. See, we'll be getting the year wise sales. Okay. So here, depending upon your requirement, your different type of the visuals you can connect. So we can format this. We can by using the format option, but that is not the point of discussion over here. Just I want to explain. This is a report view where you will build the visuals. So if you want to take another chart or something, any chart, if you want to select, first you need to select that chart. Suppose this is a donut chart. Okay. I want category wise sales. In this is a sales column. Different type of categories are there. Suppose what are the categories? Select the categories. So here the sales of furnitures, office supply, technology. These three category sales are there. If you want to analyze how much each category is making, so first you have selected the category and come. You need to analyze the sales, right? Come to the sales. See, this is a we have donut chart we have built. So just to explain you, this is the report view where you can build your report. So that is my idea that to explain you, this is the area where you can build the reports. Now, now coming to the first step in the Power Query, what is the use of the Power Query? So in the demo class, I have explained you in the Power Query is the ETL software. If you in the continuation, because I have already explained so much of things, the basic things in the demo, so I am not explaining going to that PowerPoint presentation again. So hope everyone has attending this class have gone through the demo. So first step I told, the Power Query is useful to transform your data. What is meant by transformation in the real time? Every time the data may not be in an organized manner. So there you need to look before connecting to the data. You need to see your data should be standardized format. It should be uniform, and the data should throughout the data it should be maintained the standard format. So you need, if you need to make some necessary transformation. So this transformation is done in the Power Query. Now you have connected this data. Let us see whether this data requires some transformation. Okay. To, to transform this data, you are transforming the data in the home tab. you need to transform your data. You need to go where? In the transform data here. Okay. Once you click on this transform data, okay, when you click on this transform data, you will go to the Power Query. You will go to the Power Query interface. I'm clicking on the transform data over here. See, once you click on this transform data, you will be going to where Power Query Editor. Power Query is a ETL software. Power Query is a ETL software where we can extract the data, transform the data, and after transform, extracting means the data is extracted over here. This is the data is extracted. Transform means we have many menu based option. With that, you will transform the data. After transforming the data, when you click on close and apply, the data is loaded again into your Power BI desktop. Okay. When you look at this, suppose when you look at this, suppose I am going to the orders table. So this is the orders table over here. Okay. Now let us see whether I will ask you a simple question. I am going to the people. I'm going to the people section over here. So whether this data require transformation or not. See, what is this data? When you look at this, it has person and person name, region and region name. But actually the person and region, this person and regions are the headers. These are the column headers. See, as this person should come as a column header, this region should has a column header, but these column headers are missing. So you need to be as a Power BI developer, you need to look at the data. Yes, these headers are not perfectly assigned. Now you can ask me, in this orders table, the headers are perfectly assigned. There's orders date, ship date, it is perfect. Suppose I will take only first four example. These are only visible for us. This row ID, why Power BI desktop has recognized this as a header and this order ID as header, order date, ship date, they have recognized perfectly. But why Power Query has failed to recognize this person and region as header? Reason being, the person and region, these are the header, these are the person names. But Power Query, it also thinks it as a text. This person, Anna, they don't, she don't, that the Power Query, it does not have that much knowledge. It is considering all it as a text function. So person, Anna, check, all these are text, right? So they are thinking that it is all these are same. So it has failed to recognize the headers. So in that condition, you need to bring this person as and region as a column headers. How you can do it? In this in the home tab only, there is one option called use first row as header. So this is the first row, right? Just you click on this, use first row as headers. Now the person and region has become the headers. But Power Query, what that person is a text function, Anna is a text. It thought all these rows are same. That's why instead of making the text function, it has made all it was pulled that data into the rows, and it has created a blank column with column one and column name. Then then after that you can come to and you can see whether that are performed, whether it is perfect or not. You can make this transformation by using first row as header. Okay, that is one of simple transformation. Again, go to the returns table also. Returns table also, you can see this column returned. Yes, again they are thinking it as a return, and yes, it is also thinking as both are text functions. All these are same. Like Power Query has not failed to distinguish. So in that condition, again, you need to column one and column two. When you confirm the data, column name, if it is as column name, this is not a correct representation, right? So this data signifies it contains how many products are returned or how many products you are added, written yes or no. So these two are as a column headers. Just you need to again go to click here, use first rows and headers. So this headers are assigned. Okay. Now, when you go to the orders table, so why Power Query in this first four or five columns, why it is able to distinguish this row ID as header? See, row ID, it is a text function, and 1, 2, 3 are numbers. So Power Query, what it has thought, yes, there is a breakdown. These are the numbers, it might be row, and immediately starting a test function, it might be a header. It thought itself and it made it as a Power Query, distinguished as an header. Coming to the order ID, it is a text function. Here we have number and text. So Power Query thought these two are different. Might be it is an order ID, might be a column. So it has differentiated itself. When you come to order date is a text function. It is a text. Again, after immediate that, all these are following same pattern. That means it is giving all the dates. That it has thought that it has all the dates and order date is a different, so it has made it as a column header. In the same way, ship date also. Ship date is a text and remaining all rows contains the date. So it becomes easy for the Power Query to distinguish the data. So it has in. But when Power Query confuse, so when we get confused, instead of assigning the headers, it will show it as it will pull down the data in the rows and it will show us column 1 and column 2. And now once you connect the data, you need to take a call whether the data is perfect, whether the headers are assigned correct. If it is not, you can go to the use first row of header and you can set the data perfectly. So this is how there is some logic behind it. In the current customer ID also, customer ID is a text. So here customer CG12, these are the IDs. So it is able to identify the address. Okay. This is called a simple transformations. Okay. By connecting the data, you need to check. You should not directly come and you need to build the visuals column 1 and column 2. Then it is not a correct way of representation. Now, what happens in this, if you make the transform, suppose I am going to the orders table over here. Okay. In this orders table, now, when you look at this data, first you need to understand when you connect to the Power Query editor in the first class, as it is the first class, we are starting with Power Query. First, if you learn any tool, you need to understand the interface actually. So most of the people, while starting directly, if I dump into the subject, first you need to understand as well, what is this query pane? What are the different type of the panes we have? Actually, you need to understand the interface. If you make any data, how this interface is changing. Okay. When you look at the Power Query here, the Power Query, this is the Power Query interface. The first side, when you look at the top left, we have this queries. Okay. Queries are nothing in the Power BI tables. In the tables, this Power Query, we call it as queries. Queries and the tables are nothing but one and the same. Okay. And my screen is visible, right, everyone? You are able to see my screen, whether my voice is reciprocating with the screen. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, done. Yeah. This
Yes.
is called as query pane. Okay. Thank you. Query pane. Query means queries are nothing but the tables. Okay, queries are nothing but the tables. So this pane, this area of the Power Query editor, we call it as query pane. Nothing but the tables which we are loaded will be reflected over here. Tables and query is one and the same. So we call it as query pane. Okay, this is the first area. Second, now when you look at this data over here, any changes in the data here, we have the data when whatever the transformation you will be making here will be reflected in the times of the formula over here. So this area we call it as formula pane. Okay, suppose I am making some changes. I'm making I go to the transform data. I'm making order ID. In this order ID, this we have date, we have month, we have year. I want to make some simple transformation. What is my simple transformation? In the same column, I want to extract in this. I want to extract only year from this. So 2016, only 2015, I want only year from it. So I will select this column, go to date column, and I select the year. Yeah, here it is coming year. Once you select year, only year will be extracted here. From that order date, the year is extracted. See, I made this transformation. What is my transformation? I have extracted year from order date. So I made one transformation. So this transformation should be recorded at some place in the Power BI. So this is the area where the records that whatever the transformation you make here will be recorded over here. This is called this is called as query settings pane. What is meant by query setting pane? In the queries, this is called query settings. That means query is nothing but tables. Suppose if you make any changes in the tables or in the column, if you make any transformation, so I have extracted here from here, right? So it will see, it will show you transformation from order date you have extracted here. This is the extracted here, I have extracted. So whatever the transformations you make in the Power Query will be recorded in the query setting panes in the applied steps. Okay. If I close this, again, I will go back to the order date. If you want to, you made the some transformation, like that transformation will be recorded in the applied steps. It will show extracted here. So now you can rename this also, extracted here. So after some time, if somebody comes, they don't understand the transformation, you can give the extracted here from order date. So if you make some changes like this here, so if somebody, if I am working here, if in the same report, if some other new candidate will join, once he record this transformation, yes, extracted here from order date. So he is in the orders table. So he have extracted here from order date. In that case, if you able to, whatever the transformation, if you make the transformation, if you give some simplified name, so if sometimes if you go on leave or some other will work on that report, and by looking at this, what are the transformation that you have made, can that second person or some other, like if you share the report to your team lead or someone, by looking at the transformation, it is easy for you, because I have made only one transformation. When in the coming classes, in the one table, I make total 15 or 20 transformations. All these are automatically recorded over here. But if you give some name to it, it will be easy for someone. So what type of the transformation you have made just by looking at here. So any transformation that you make in the Power Query will be recorded in the applied step. So this we call it as query setting pane. This we call it as query setting pane. This we call it as query pane. And whatever the formula, whatever the changes that we will make, see here in the formula will be present over here. This pane we call it as formula pane. The wherever we have the formula, we call it as formula pane in the Power Query editor. Next one, when you look at any data over here, the data will be represented over here. See, when you click on the manager data is reflecting. Orders, when you click on the orders will be reflecting over here. So it is reflecting. This is the area this data will this we call it as pane. This center part we call it as data. Okay. Next one, column are called it as results pane. That means it is showing a result as this will we call it as
Your
data
voice
pane
is
or
breaking.
some other. Shit, my voice is breaking. Just give me some time. I will reconnect it. It is everyone or only hello?
Now somewhat better.
So, one second. Just give me 1 minute time. Like I think data it is finished. Is it clear now? I think I have recharged it. Is it clear now? Hello?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
yes. It's
Yeah, actually yeah, yeah, thank you. Actually, I have recharged it so that the data is finished. Sorry, where we have finished in the data pane. Yeah, this is the area we call it as a formula pane. Okay. Now, this is another pane we call it as a ribbon pane. So what is meant by ribbon pane? This is the area in the Power Query, we make the transformations, right? We make the transformations. So to make the transformation, we have the different menu based options which are there in the Power Query. Okay. These are the menu based options. So first, when you go to the home source, so when you click on new source, if you want to connect to the any Excel, so here also in the Power Query, in the Power BI desktop where we connect to the Excel sheet, in the Power Query editor also, when there will be, we can connect to the Excel. From here also, you can connect to the SQL server. Here also from you can connect to some text CSV file. Here also you can connect to some online link, URL link. So this new source and recent sources means what are the sources that we have connected. See, recently what we have done, we have loaded in the first step, we have loaded the employee department table. And afterwards, we loaded sample superstore data. So this is called as a recent source. So in this, to make the transformations, we have three different home tab, we have ribbon tab, we have add column tab. So these are the different menu based options which helps you to transform your data. Okay. So this area we call it as Power Query ribbon. Okay, what is meant Power Query ribbon, or some people we calling it as ribbon pane. Okay, suppose if you want to make the transform your data here, suppose I'm calling here in the home tab. So I want to I want to choose remove some rows. So when I click on this remove rows, if I select in the row ID, right? If I select remove top rows, okay, it will ask me how many rows you want to remove. So in this, I want to remove this top four rows. Okay. Click on top number of rows you want to remove four. Just click on OK. See, 1 to 4 rows are deleted. So this is here. There are some transformation in this. Do we have the different menu based option? With this menu based option, we'll try to make the transformations. Okay. Home tab, transform tab, we have add column tab. In the add column tab, we have many based options. In the view tab also, we have menu based options. So this is the area where we have the menu based options. With the help of this menu based option, we will perform the Power Query transformation. And this area we call it as Power Query ribbon. Okay. See here, what I was started, remove the rows, right? See, remove the top rows. There is whatever the transformation you make, that transformation will be recorded in the applied steps. So this is called, we call it as query setting pane. So remove top rows. So if somebody rows from where we have removed, so as a Power BI developer, you need to click on here. See, if you want to see over here from there will be one gear button. Okay. So how many rows you are removed, you want to know, just you click on this gear icon. See, it shows how many number of top four rows we have removed. Okay. So instead of going and checking over here, here also you right click on it, click on the remove top rows from row ID. Like this, if you mention just by looking at here, once you click hover in the cursor, you can say remove top rows from the row ID. Yes. So if you want to go deep, like how many rows are removed, just you can go on the gray icon. Just you can see yes from the row ID, the top rows are removed. So this we call it as what we call this is query setting pane, and this we call it as ribbon pane. So these are the general panes which are required, where the tables we call it as this query pane, where different menu based options we call it as ribbon pane, where the formula is represented we call it as formula pane, where the data is represented we call it as data pane or results pane, where the applied steps are recorded we call it as this query setting pane. Okay, this is the general interface of this Power BI in Power Query. Okay. See, whatever the steps you can see, what are the steps which are there, it is recorded over here. But when you look at here for everything, what happens? You are performing the menu based option. But in the Power Query, it will backend it will write some code. Okay, see, this is the code it has written. For extracted from here, this code it has written by itself. In that, if in order to perform this operation in other type of the software, you need to write some formula. So in the SQL also, if you want to extract something, if you want to select something, you need to write select this table name, then only it will try to select. So we are writing some formulas to get the data or to get the result from the Power Query. So in this case, you can play with the menu based options which are there in the Power Query, and the formula will be automatically written at the backend. They will ask me what is this language which is they used in this Power Query. The language which is used in the Power Query, we call it as mashup language. This is the one of the interview question. Which language is used in the Power Query? The answer is the mashup language we call, because for every menu based option, if you want to make any transformations, backend it will write some code by itself. Okay. Now you can ask me if you want to go to one step back, how you can go one step back? Just you click on this cross button. See, again your row IDs are appeared. Previously we extracted year from order date. If you click on this button, it will go back to the previous step. Okay. So if you want to go to the previous step, you can close it. Uh, Whatever the steps that recorded will be recorded in the applied steps. Now, when you look at this Power Query, like if you want to make this some basic transformation, there is in the transform in the home. This is right now we are in the home tab, right? Uh, if you want to make some basic transformations over here, like suppose I am selecting this ship mode. What is my requirement is I want to select this into this all are into the small letters, right? So as some basic transformation, if I want to convert it into the uppercase, I want to format this data. I don't want the data which is there it in the small letter. So in that case, in the transform tab, you can go to the format data. Okay. See, if you click on lowercase, already it is a lowercase standard format. If you want to collect into the uppercase, okay. See, your data is converted into the uppercase. This is one transformation. It is recorded over here. Okay. Again, you can go to the format tab. So when you click on capitalize each word, what is meant by each word? Like means at the beginning of each word, it will give the capital letters. Second, C will be the capital. So in this case, if you don't want all thing in the lowercase, so second class. So if you want to format your data, go to the transform tab and you can go to the format and your data will be formatted. Here lowercase text. If you want to format this is some basic transformation, but we'll go step by step. In the Power Query, I want to make to understand this Power Query is useful to make some transformation to your data. Okay, whatever the transformations will be recorded here in the applied step, and the language we used in the mashup language. Okay, now there is some types in which there is in these options also we have the different type of uh, data. We will apply the different type of use case will be there in this Power Query. Okay, once you click on this data, now I will give one requirement. Then you can understand some important. What are the important transformation that we see when I closely look at this data? Uh, I have country. Okay, I have country. I have city. I have state, and I have region. Okay, this four I will drag here. Okay, after the country, I will try to make. I will bring the state. Just if you want to move one here, just click on that button and drag it. How you can drag simply country, state, suppose. Then I will try to bring the region. Just select and drag over here. Region, city. These are the four. Okay. Now, what is my requirement is I my data is present in country in a different column, state in a different column, region in a different column, city in a different column. What is my requirement? I want to bring all this data which is present in the four different column into a single column. Okay. So that means what you are doing, you are merging the data which is present in the four different columns, you are merging into a single column. Okay. That means you are applying the merge column concept. Okay. These four columns should be come into a single column. How you can achieve this result? Click on the control button, select what you want to merge. Okay, control button, click on country, click on control button. First you select the country, click on control, select the state, and select the region, select the city. So these four should be come into the single cell, right? That means you are applying, you are going to the merge column. So click on here. You have the in the transform data merge column. You click on merge columns. Once you click on the merge column, it will ask you the separator. That means after United States or each and every column, whether you want to comma, whether you want some full stop, whether you want to hyphen, you need to give. Just I want to give something as a comma. Okay. Now it is asking that new column name, whether automatically it will give us merged. I don't want that name. So it should be user friendly. If I make some transformation, it should speak something. It should be some relevant. So instead of giving automatic, I will type it as address. Okay. Why I am typing as an address? Because in the same we are giving the country name, region name, state name. So I am making it as address. Now I click on OK. What happens? All these four columns will be merged into a single column and each column will be separated by comma. So this is how you need to interpret the results. Now just you click on OK. See, address new column is created. See here, United States. After that we have state column. After that we have region column. Again, after that we have the city column. All these four columns are merged. Previously, the columns were when you go over here, all these four columns will be different in the different columns. Okay. Now you have merged all the four columns into a single column. That means you have applied the merge concept over here. Okay. This is how you can see the result, and each one it has covered. It has separated by the comma. Now, for every step, if you have reordered the column, right? Previously, it was in different. You bring the city which is there into a second state, so that a step is created here, a reordered column. Again, you have merged a column. It has created one step because every transformation if you make in the Power Query, it will be recorded in the interviewer will ask in the Power Query you make the transformation. Can you mention at where these steps are recorded? You can need to say applied steps is the area where your transformations will be recorded. Okay, this is how. This is how you can merge the data. And the last one, if you want to select the data, again, my requirement is I want to split the data. What is my requirement? With this one consent, I will close the class. I want to split the data. What I want to split the data? United States, Kentucky, the data. Now this column contains the data of four different columns. I want to split the data into different into single column. The data is present, right? I want to split the data into four different columns. Previously we have merged. I am following the reverse concept. So you are going for splitting. You are splitting the single column into multiple column. Then you need to select an option called as split column option. See, you have split column. When you click on split column, it will ask how you want to split. Split by delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but after every column you will give some delimiter, right? Here we have given comma. That is the delimiter. Now you need to select a split by delimiter. Okay. It will ask split by delimiter, comma. Okay. Comma is automatically. Why it is automatically detected? Because the delimiter is comma. Split from leftmost delimiter, rightmost delimiter, each occurrence of delimiter. Leftmost delimiter means United States. Here the data will split, remaining data will come into one. But wherever the delimiter is there, I want to split the data. This example, again, we'll discuss the split column for 10 or 15 minutes, but I want to show you how this Power Query is helpful for you. Now split column at each occurrence of the delimiter, right? So when I click at each, wherever the delimiter is present, there the data will break. There the data will split. Just you click on OK. See, United States, this is a state, this is the region, and this is the city name. That means previously the data which is present over here in the four different steps like here, different in the single column. Now it has split into four different, like previously The data which one in the real time, this type of the situation will be there, like where data is present in the multiple, we can split the data, or we can data present in the different cells will be merged into a single column. Okay, right. With this, we can close that class for today. And I will share the recording, this recording in the group so that you can go through the class. So any doubts from you as per the today's class? Actually, we had some disturbance due to a network issue. Actually, my broadband is not working. I connected to the mobile. But if you have any doubts, like I can clear it now. Is it fine for everyone? Manisha, Pranya, have you understand the thing?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, okay. At the first time, because this is the first class, you might be face some difficult to understand, but after listening the record, you try to practice it in the same way. I will share the data set to you. These the files that I have used. By following to the video, parallelly you practice, then it becomes very easy for you. Just if you are just listening, that it will not work out. You will understand the concept, but you practice in the real time, then you might be getting the more idea. Okay, practicing is very important. Right. In the tomorrow class, I will explain you how to download the Power BI Desktop from the Google, and another we go step by step in the home tab. What are the transformation are there in the transform tab? What are the transformation, and those transformation step by step we'll be discussing in the tomorrow class. Okay. Okay. I will share this recording and source file to you. And thank you everyone for joining in the